House of Gucci is a 2021 American biographical crime drama film directed by Ridley Scott, based on the 2001 book The House of Gucci, a sensational story of murder, madness, glamour, and greed by Sara Gay Forden. The film follows Patrizia Reggiani, played by Lady Gaga, and Maurizio Gucci, played by Adam Driver, as their romance transforms into a fight for control of the Italian fashion brand Gucci. Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, Jack Huston, Salma Hayek, and Pacino also star. Scott wanted to make the film about the Gucci dynasty after acquiring the rights to Forden's book in the early 2000s. The project languished for several years, with a number of directors and rumoured actors being considered before Scott and Gaga became officially attached in November of 2019. Much of the remaining cast joined the following summer, and filming began in Italy, lasting from February through to May of 2021. The world premiere of House of Gucci was held at the Odeon Luxe, Leicester Square, in London on November 9, 2021. It was theatrically released to United Artists Releasing in the United States on November 24, 2021. The film received mixed reviews from critics who praised the cast performances, but criticised the inconsistent tone and editing. Gaga and Leto were nominated for Screen Actors Guild Awards, Critics' Choice Award, and Satellite Award for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actor, respectively, while the former also received nominations for the Golden Globe Award and BAFTA Award. The film earned a nomination at the 94th Academy Awards for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. It grossed over $153 million against a $75 million budget. The cast includes Lady Gaga as Patrizia Reggiani. Initially Angelina Jolie and then later Margot Robbie were considered for the role, but when Ridley Scott took over the film's directing, he cast Lady Gaga instead. Gaga explained she took into account how her longtime friend Tony Bennett feels about Italians being represented in films in terms of crime, and inspired to make a real person out of Patrizia. She explained, "I felt the best way to honour Maurizio and the Italians was for my performance to be authentic from the perspective of a woman, not an Italian-American woman, but an Italian woman. She stayed in character for 18 months, speaking with an accent for 9 months during that period. She also ad-libbed many of her lines, including the film's iconic quote, Father, Son, and House of Gucci, which went viral after the release of the film's first trailer." The real Patrizia is an Italian convicted criminal and former socialite. She was convicted in a highly publicized trial of hiring a hitman to kill her ex-husband, Maurizio Gucci. Adam Driver as Maurizio Gucci. Maurizio was an Italian businessman and one-time head of the Gucci fashion house. He was the son of actor Rodolfo Gucci and grandson of company's founder, Guccio Gucci. On the 27th of March 1995, he was assassinated by a hitman hired by his former wife, Patrizia Reggiani. Al Pacino as Aldo Gucci. Aldo was an Italian personality and the chairman of Gucci from 1953 to 1986. He was the eldest son of Guccio Gucci, who founded the company bearing the name in 1921. Jeremy Irons as Rodolfo Gucci. Rodolfo, also known by his stage name Maurizio de Ancora, was an Italian actor and entrepreneur who appeared in more than 40 films between 1929 and 1946. He was a member of the Gucci family. His only child, Maurizio Gucci, was named after his stage name. Jared Leto as Paolo Gucci, who was an Italian businessman and fashion designer. He was the one-time chief designer and vice president of Gucci. He is credited with helping the design of Gucci's famous double G logo. Paolo would die in London on October 10, 1995, at the age of 64 from chronic hepatitis in the midst of a divorce proceedings. And Jack Huston as Domenica De Sole, a businessman, chairman of Tom Ford International, and current director of Acme Partners, founding chairman of Sotheby's and former president and CEO of the Gucci Group. In January of 2021, during an interview with the Italian magazine Novella 2000, Patrizia Reggiani approved that Gaga would portray her and commented she immensely likes her and she's a genius. However, in March, Reggiani gave an interview where she stated she was annoyed that Gaga had not contacted her or met with her and claimed it was not an economic question as she wouldn't get a cent from the film. It was rather a question of good sense and respect for who she was as a person. Later that month, it was confirmed that producers did not want Gaga to meet her, as they did not want to come across as they were endorsing or supporting an awful crime. Gaga stated she'd watched much footage and many documentaries and read many books about Patrizia's life. Gaga also stated that she had no interest in colluding with Reggiani, but her heart goes out to her and her daughters. She would say, "I do care deeply that this must be very painful for them." Patrizia Gucci, who is Paolo's daughter, said she was truly disappointed by the film. She would say, "They are stealing the identity of my family to make a profit, to increase the income of the Hollywood system." She added, "Our family has an identity, privacy. We can talk about everything, but there is a borderline that cannot be crossed." According to Gucci, the three central concerns of the family are the inaccuracies in the film, the lack of contact with Ridley Scott, and the casting of high-profile actors to play people who were not connected with the murder. She also said the Gucci family will decide what their next course of action will be after watching the completed film. Scott rejected her claims, saying, "You have to remember that one Gucci was murdered, another went to jail for tax evasion, so you can't be talking to me about making a profit. As soon as you do that, you become part of the public domain." Famous fashion designer and director Tom Ford stated that he felt as though he had lived through a hurricane when he left the theatre, saying that despite laughing on a few occasions, he found it hard for him to see the humour and camp in something that was so bloody in real life. He would say it was at times absurd, but ultimately it was tragic. Now for me, House of Gucci is a film that disappoints. Yes, the film's production design and costume design are fantastic and well done. And though some have praised the performances of actors, particularly Lady Gaga and Jared Leto, frankly I found their acting rather annoying and over the top. The movie's pacing is all over the place and it lacks depth and character development. Of course, I must be in the minority here because the film was a huge commercial success, grossing over $210 million worldwide. But I feel that's more on the promise and the sensationalism of the story and of course casting a huge star like Lady Gaga. For me, the film just feels too long and drawn out in parts. The characters feel underdeveloped and lack depth. I didn't find the script very good either, and I found it overly melodramatic and not particularly engaging. Now, Lady Gaga's performance in House of Gucci has been the subject of debate amongst critics and audiences. Some have loved her performance, and some have been far more critical. I definitely fall into the latter. Some commended her for delivering a strong, nuanced performance that captures the character's complexity and emotional depth, particularly playing the real-life Patrizia Reggiani. For me, though, I was less impressed. I found her overacting, and I don't think she fully embodied the real-life character of Patrizia. The other controversial performance was, of course, Jared Leto playing Paolo Gucci, a member of the Gucci family and cousin of Maurizio Gucci. Some praised his performance, describing him as eccentric and captivating. They noted that he brought a unique energy and presence to the screen, and that he manages to stand out in a film with the star-studded cast. I frankly found his performance far too over the top and quite distracting. For me, it came off more of a comedy performance rather than a dramatic one. He made me laugh more than take him seriously. For me, his portrayal of Paolo Gucci veers into the caricature, and overall it distracts from the tone of the film. When you assemble a cast like this and a phenomenal director like Ridley Scott, you really do believe that you're going to get something absolutely special. For me, though, House of Gucci falls flat in every single way. The accents are hammy, the performances are over the top, and the film takes what is a fascinating story about the real-life Maurizio Gucci and turns it into a melodramatic soap opera. Even the likes of Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons, and Adam Driver cannot save this mess of a film. Disappointing and a real letdown. House of Gucci gets a 5 out of 10.